got mail. Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple hours, along with Spence.
We are here for you.
Good morning. And Katie's here. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Gal will join us shortly. He just informed me. Nick may, or he may be doing some political stuff. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So another week gone by.
Yep. Getting colder out, which I like. Get rid of all that humidity.
Yeah, I was sitting outside yesterday and it says 12.5%. And I said, what the world?
Really? Was that low?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait,
Well,
what does that mean? 12.5%.
Humidity.
Humidity. It's
I
almost,
thought you were talking about temperature.
That's really
I was like,
dry.
yeah, that's really dry.
Yeah. In the house, it's been running about 50%.
Yeah.
Which is good in the house. But when
But
I
yeah,
have that humidifier under the house, it keeps it at 45.
winter is coming, for sure.
Yeah. I'm ready for it.
yeah, samesies.
Although I have my list of things that I thought I would do over the summer and didn't do.
It's always
depressing.
like that, isn't it?
It's okay. We were talking about all these countries having New Year's at different times. So just wait a couple months. It'll be a new year somewhere, and then you can have a new resolution.
Can do that too.
Did you see the story about Cuba?
They
Cuba's
went,
power grid has been out for 4 days.
yeah, it's like
And they tried to
10 million people.
reboot it 3 times and failed. And they're blaming it on the United States because we didn't give them spare parts
Spare parts for what? Their generators?
for the power grid.
For the power grid, yeah. They saying that their power grid is too old. Well,
well, it's a Soviet-style power grid.
that's all right.
Oh,
They'll get over it.
oh yeah, eventually they will.
Yep.
Or they'll all leave.
So what else happened this week that's like sticking out there?
Mm-hmm. Any new breaches this week?
There's a bunch of breaches. We'll talk about it.
Every day there's breaches.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Do you have an article about the Twitter thing?
No. You can talk about it.
Well, then I'll mention it. I saw that Blue Sky got 500,000 new users, and the main reason why is because Twitter changed their TOS to allow AI to train on their user data, and so a lot of people jump shipped to Blue Sky. So yeah, and then also too, I read an article that said that you can opt out of it, but there's no instructions on how to opt out of it. So it's like, yeah, you can opt out of training. You're using your information to train AI. Like, okay, how do I do that? Ghosted.
Yeah. You have to find out on your own.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, but people leaving Twitter to go to other platforms happened a few times. I mean, the few times that I remember was when Alex Jones was banned, and when Trump was banned, and somebody else.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's right.
What?
Yeah, that's right. That's each wave of that.
Yeah.
I will say that for this one though.
Yeah, that's a different story. That's right.
This one's different because the people that left are content creators that have a following. So the content creators don't want the AI bots to train on their information, which is reasonable because they create the information. So they left, and then they took their thousands of followers with them. So their user base is whittling down, and I know it's natural for a social media platform to ebb and flow, like people come, people go, but I haven't heard the opposite. Like I haven't heard of like, oh, 500,000 people join Twitter or like I just hear people leaving.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon that before people would leave in droves and then slowly kind of ease back when, unfortunately, a lot of people forget the evils
Yeah.
and they want to be involved and they go back. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. This is kind of different when when it involves something like that. Yeah.
Well, I was looking for articles and I went back, I found one that's from 2023 that says that Twitter's terms of service now ban AI data scraping.
Yeah.
But does that protect you? And go back and look and see. Here's an article from the 17th about how it does allow third parties.
Yeah.
Well, if they want to get trained, well, then they just call me. Be happy to tell them what I think. That's more accurate than
Yep.
anything you'll find out there with me on social media. So,
And the Internet Archive is still
oh,
down,
messed up.
not everything. I mean, the
Yeah.
Wayback Machine came back, and some of the other services are kind of coming back slowly. Some of them are read only, some of them where they need to be. They're working on it. I mean, hopefully they take this opportunity to really strengthen the system over there because you don't want to bring it down to do all that, and it's already down. Do everything you need to do.
What was the name of the really big breach that happened like 5 months ago that is still being people are still coming out of it? The town where I live still is having issues with getting everything back online. And for your utility bill, for example, you couldn't get it was very difficult for you to get your balance to know what you owed because everything was still down. And what was the other one that's still down? Wake Med Hospital.
Oh, I didn't know Wake Med was
People
down.
had a huge issue. I mean, there was a time when I was trying to get an appointment and they couldn't do it. They couldn't give you an appointment because the system was so messed up. They couldn't project out a calendar.
Huh.
It's fixed. It's fixed in that I think they're doing more manual stuff, but they're still dealing with the aftermath of this thing. I wish I could remember the name now. Was it? It was. It's just a You, if I said it, you'd say, "Oh yeah," but I can't remember the name.
It's amazing what you have to go through to fix stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not trivial.
Yeah. And then if it's like anything I've ever worked on, you fix one thing and it breaks everything else.
It could, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what they do and how they do it. Hopefully, other companies are learning from that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you should not just brush it aside and say, "Oh, yeah, well, companies need to learn." And I still don't understand why a backup cannot fix it quicker. Unless a lot of them, what they do is they work to strengthen the system and make it more resistant resist resist resistant to such uh attacks.
And then there's the old adage: your backup is only as good as when you test
All
it.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, put it back online again.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think that they should back everything up with paper,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
should absolutely
print
just
everything, and then just have a room
Oh, you
Well,
can't
it
do
would
that
be a
because all the environmentalists would come out. The trees!
yep. Well, if
For
nothing else, this reminds us that what an electromagnetic pulse would do.
well, that's what I'm saying. I hope people would learn from
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, you hear them talking about the power grid, but is anything really happening? Are they stockpiling, trying to stockpile parts somewhere in a protected place? They say that if there's an electromagnetic pulse could be done on a small basis too. You could do it locally from the ground, but if it is something that's in the upper atmosphere, it could. I mean, it may not affect everything. Obviously, it's distance and strength, but if it throws the power grid out and fries transformers and they don't have enough of them,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? Go to Cuba; they have extras.
Yeah.
Um, talking about power, yesterday morning, I was doing some work and bam, power went out. So I sort of panicked because the the generator that's on the house now is one that I have not used before and didn't even test it. The old generator, the one I've been using for years, developed a problem with the regulator. I have to take it down to Ashboro to have it fixed.
This is the surgical tent thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The
Army portable
so
surgical thing.
um, I went outside, started it, and I'm slowly like saying, "Okay, I need to do this first." The other one was like automatic. I mean, I knew exactly what to do. This one, I wanted to make sure that I'm not screwing up. So I did. I started it, and everything was ready. And I'm going to the breaker box to switch off main power and turn on the generator power. And as I got there, the power came back.
Oh, good.
So I said, "Okay, well." And I got a notice on my cell phone from Duke Power that says that repairs are underway and it'll be 11 o'clock before power comes back. This was like about probably about 9 o'clock. So I said, "All right," and I said, "You know what? I'm all ready to do this. Power was down and all that." I said, "I'm going to test it." So I switched off the main power and turned on the breaker for the generator, and everything was working. So I said, "Okay, I'm good." I mean, that took some time.
Yeah, but now you know how to do it.
Yeah, but I went inside and I'm looking right as you walk in the porch, you see Kathy's computer and you see the Plex computer, and they are both booting. I'm saying, "What?" Because there's a 2 kW UPS on for only for these two machines. But it's been years since I changed the batteries. So I said, "Okay, well, it's finally going. So I need to change it." Good morning, God. Okay, he'll break in when he's ready. Um,
Good morning.
good morning. So I I went out and well, I went to that room and got a 1 kW UPS that I just replaced the batteries in, and decided, "Okay, I'm gonna just take this one out." This one is a really big UPS, and it has 5 12-volt batteries in it. 6, sorry. 6
Full
70.
full size, like car size
Yeah,
batteries.
right. I mean, it could, but
Yeah.
no, it's the regular 12 volt, the 1280 batteries. So I said, nah, this one is good enough for that size. So it took it took me time with my back and everything to get that. I went and got a hand truck and slid it down from where it was sitting. It was a long thing, but I got it in place, cleaned everything on the server as far as dust and things like that because I had to move a lot of stuff away and got back online. Everything is fine. Um, that took about 2 hours for me to do that because I mean I really I didn't want to abuse my back, so I did it slowly and using mechanical trickery to move it around. um, but then I was saying, well, damn, I did not complain that the power's down. They did not say that they were doing. I mean, with all the construction around here, things like this happen. But they always tell you, okay, we're going to take it down, and then we'll let you know when it's back up. It was just repairs are completed. Mm, I was glad it didn't take too long, but it was good. I mean, I'm glad I accomplished a bunch in testing that generator. So I'm satisfied. So, Gal, what's happening?
My heating is down.
Ooh.
Oh,
So, yeah, woke up to a very cold home. Need to figure out what's going on with the furnace.
What
Oh,
Other than
is it?
that,
Is it just electric or is it gas?
gas.
Oh, sheesh. Well, maybe you just need to light the.
I don't know. I'll need to go up to the attic to see what's going on there.
Um,
But
wow.
it's cold.
Yeah.
you should be able to look in and look for a code. If they left the maintenance documents with the furnace up there, you can find out how to check the code, and the code might tell you something. If
Yeah,
it's a if
there's.
it's a 90% efficient furnace, then it has to drain humidity from it too. And if the pump or the pipe that drains humidity overfill, like it backs up, it flips a switch that turns the system off. And that's the most common thing with high efficiency ones because of um,
I'll
they
need
have
to
to
check.
be
I
90% efficiency creates moisture and condensate.
do have all of the model information because of a repair I did to the system a couple of months ago.
Yeah, the fan.
So, yeah, try to find.
Yeah, you should be able to see a system light like looking through a little window. It'll be blinking to tell you it can tell you a code. It's not very useful, but it'll tell you why it stopped.
Yeah, I don't have any code displayed anywhere.
No,
So,
no.
yeah.
I haven't turned my heat on yet. I like the cold right now.
We like the house warm.
Yeah, we turned ours, I think, about a week ago when it was real cold. Just and normally I do it on days when it's no big deal, just do it because of the smell. And this one really stunk this time. And this is all electric. It's a heat pump. There's
Hmm.
no gas or something to burn, and it was still stinky. And I only went like 1 degree up because I didn't want the coils to come on. But cleared itself, and I left it there. I think it's 69, 68, something like that.
I usually, for a long time, I left mine on dual mode and had set temperature ranges for them to switch back and forth. It has to be at least 10 degrees between heat mode and cold mode. But for some reason, I just switched it over to straight heat. And I did not change the one upstairs. And I got up one morning. Why is it like 58 degrees in the house? And that's because I forgot to change it over.
Yeah, I don't leave it on auto.
Yeah, you have to be sure it's programmed properly for
Yeah.
that to work right.
I have it. It's hooked up to a Zigbee thermostat, and it's all controlled by the smart home.
Oh. Well, you need to do something about your smart home.
Because it's the home can be as smart as it wants, but if the HVAC isn't working, then it won't work.
Yeah.
Maybe the home is on strike. You don't know. It could be a labor action against you there.
So, Gal, when you're saying you need to go up in the attic and see what's going on, what are you going to look for?
I'm gonna see if I can identify, if first of all, if something is not working in the furnace section, right? If I can identify if there's a relay that isn't switching that's supposed to switch, something like that. Just
Did you pay your gas bill?
If there's what's that?
Did you pay your gas bill?
Yes.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, yeah. No, but just try to figure out if I can see an issue. Last time I saw an issue. This time I don't know.
Oh.
Sometimes
last time
if you power it off and let it sit for a while, turn it back on, it'll go through a restart try. It takes a while. But
that's why I powered it off.
I'll try to light the front. If it doesn't light the burners, it'll cancel, or if it detects a low pressure on the infuser, I think they call it. It's the pressure input pressure of the fan to the burner. Yeah, there's a lot. I remember changing out a flame sensor went bad, and even though the thing was lighting, the flame sensor didn't detect it, and it just stopped the system. But it posted a code, so I was able to figure it out and buy the part.
Posted a code where?
On the control, if you look at the base, the unit itself, I have train units.
So it has a display.
It has a circuit board behind a plastic see-through cover that you can look in, and it's got a red light.
Oh, okay.
There's a status light, and if it's flashing, it will sometimes flash a code. It'll go like 2, 3, 2 and tell you code 232. But the newer ones are supposed to be more sophisticated and actually give you a numeric, like a little numeric display that will tell you something.
This isn't new. This is from 2007.
Yeah, so it's going to be
yeah.
It's still pretty good though. So it'll hopefully narrow it down.
Is this like the old codes from the PC? Beep 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 beep.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Could be a squirrel in there. You don't know.
Yeah, but again, the good thing is it happened when the weather is not that cold. It didn't happen when it's 7 degrees outside. So you'll be able to fix it before.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, I came in the studio and it was toasty warm because of the computers and all that. I like that.
Secondary heat.
It looks like Matti and me are gonna spend in the time in the office closed. The server here is pretty much a heater of this room if the doors are closed. So
yeah. Just have somebody deliver food. So did you hear about that Twitter term of service change? You didn't.
I do not pay attention to anything Twitter.
Oh. Katie, bring him up to date.
Say it again. So Twitter changed their TOS that says that AI can now train off of all their user content and user data. and it caused a lot of people to jump ship to Blue Sky.
Good for Blue Sky.
Yep.
Yeah.
And did they say that they said that there was a way to opt out, but it seemed vague. But did they impose the fee for third parties with this, or is that coming? That's the question. Is did they with that change did they automatically implement the?
They said that that third party could get licensed to do that.
Yeah.
Right, Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this though, right? Everybody jumping ship to Blue Sky. That won't help them. So one of the things that Blue Sky is going to do is federation. And that means, yes, they can say, if you're my user, I'm not selling your data. But anything you're posting, right, is going to be federated to other servers. And those servers might not adhere to my privacy policy. So it's on the web, basically. Anything that is public is on the web. It just means that whoever is running the servers at Blue Sky, we're not going to sell it, right? But it doesn't mean that your data isn't going to train anything. I mean, nobody is asking Google. You can opt out from the Google search engine by updating the robot directives.
The file, yeah.
But you didn't ask Google to scan your website and still your website is scanned. And so that data is consumed. The same is going to happen with social interactions on federated social media. So yeah, I don't know if there's a way of hiding from that in any way.
Well, but on the same subject, the world's biggest trade publisher has changed the wording on its copyright pages to help protect authors' intellectual property from being used to train large language models and other artificial intelligence tools. The new wording states no part of this book may be used or reproduced in any manner for the purpose of training artificial intelligence technologies or systems, and will be included in all new titles and any backlist titles that are reprinted.
Yeah, but still that covers copyright. So that covers what, 70 years back?
Well, yeah.
Right?
Unless you renew it.
Yeah.
People don't. I don't think people will. I mean, very, very. I mean, if you wrote a book, you're not going to renew it.
Well, look at Happy Birthday, how long it took for that to finally roll off because the family of the original writer kept it going all those years, and then finally, for whatever reason, they decided not to renew it.
Yeah, there are a few of them that do. I understand.
Happy Birthday is a good example.
Yep.
As far as from what I read about it, because I also heard about all of the copyright claims on it and all that, and I'm not sure. I'll double check it in a bit. But from what I read, the court case that was lost was about not that the copyright has expired, or that wasn't even the issue. It has become effectively public domain by its use. Something like that. It's like the claim that this belongs to any single person is like it couldn't be lawful anymore, or something like that. It wasn't about even expiration dates. And it turns out that it reversed any prior ruling that was on the copyright issues. Yeah, it was a strange one. So it's not straightforward like that. It's not like somebody owns it, then they can claim their rights on it. Uh, when something becomes ubiquitous, it becomes ubiquitous. Uh, try to find the ruling. It was an interesting one.
Hmm. All right. Let's see what else I've got here. I don't know. I don't know that this is important for any of our end users, but it says Microsoft has notified customers that it's missing more than 2 weeks of security logs for some of its cloud products, leaving network defenders without critical data to detecting possible intrusions. According to a notification sent to affected customers, Microsoft said a bug in the Microsoft internal monitoring agents resulted in a malfunction in some of the agents when uploading log data to our internal logging platform between September 2nd and September 19th. Again, I'm saying I don't think this affects
Which
any.
platform?
Huh?
What's the name of the platform? I missed the name.
It just says to our internal logging platform. It's not there's no name. It's a Microsoft um, security logs. So it's something internal to Microsoft where you apparently upload log data, but companies out there that do that, be aware. And it's still not affecting us. Netflix has begun raising prices in several countries, including Japan, parts of Europe, and Africa, as it seeks to sustain growth following its crackdown on password sharing. While its While its recent financial results show strong revenue growth, the company faces challenges in finding new subscribers and aim to boost future growth through advertising and fresh content. So again, some other articles that I was reading about, it says that now that they are over that hump that people were really against uh, Netflix because of what they did and all that, they feel like at this point they can raise prices and get away with it.
Well, are they over the hump or did they go into a dip because of that?
Well, I mean, the article is saying that it shows, even though all this, it still shows um, strong revenue growth. So I don't think they have anything to complain about with something like
Okay.
that.
So they figured out, hey, look, when we treat our users badly,
Yeah.
we get more money. So let's do it again.
Absolutely. And they feel like
Yeah.
that they are over that hump of, oh, look at them. Now they don't let us share. People were really pissed, and now it's quiet. So they said, okay,
Well,
now we
the
can
way
do
I
it.
understood it is we lost a lot of people because people who can't share stopped paying, right? But it seems like you're saying no, that wasn't the case,
That
but
was
they
not,
still want more.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the
And I mean,
green monster of capitalism, greed,
well,
right? So
that's the way it's done.
yep.
It's only one quarter for a CEO to get in big trouble with the board.
Yeah.
Revenues don't go the way they predict. It's like, what's going on? What's going on? Do something.
Here is something good. SpaceX submitted a request to the FCC to modify the second generation, Gen 2, of its Starlink satellite system with changes that SpaceX said will allow the constellation to deliver, ready for that, gigabit speed. broadband. SpaceX submitted the filing to the FCC on October 11th, and it was made public on Tuesday. The operator wants to make changes to the orbital configuration and operational parameters and requests modification to its Gen 2 frequency authorization. Now it becomes really something that, even though it's more expensive, it's viable now for a lot of people to go, hey, I want to have a gig. I want to have 500. I don't know what they do now. It seems like they are. What is anybody knows what? Uh,
It's potentially in the high megabits, like 200 or 300 megabit, depending on
so
how
the
many people are sharing the satellite
yeah. So they
at the
are.
moment.
So they're jumping way forward. Or I mean, it's not like they're going to do that as a default. It's going to be available. But still,
And they're also making available now something, well, it was announced, I think, back in June, StarLink Mini, which is
yeah,
this mini antenna that you can
yeah,
take with you, like on a backpack.
yeah.
And well, I'm seeing a picture of it now. It looks like it's like the size of a laptop, the antenna. So you could use it remotely.
Oh,
And it gets, you can get the mini with a $150 or a $50 roaming plan. So don't know what the throughput would be.
apparently a lot of organization brought Starlink to Asheville and the surrounding area. Did you see any when you were up there?
I did. But the big story that was really interesting was the one of the Asheville AM radio stations. I think we talked about this last week a little bit. There's a guy who worked at the station, and they lost everything. They had no power, but what they were getting, they were able to run the transmitter. They had no internet, and were using ham radio relays to get
Hmm.
information. And they said uh, what's the radio station, big radio station company that's a lot big in Raleigh. I can't remember the
It doesn't
name.
matter.
It doesn't
Or
matter. But they brought in their technicians brought in a Starlink antenna for them and set up service there. And I saw a picture of a staging yard where they had compressor they had
generator.
generators, gasoline, and Starlink sitting there ready to go out and be set up
Hmm.
in communities.
Interesting.
It's so bizarre. I mean, they said there's still 90 people missing.
Well, I mean, they're
Yeah.
probably buried under the mud and stuff.
Yeah,
Who
and that's what
knows?
they said. Their searches, they won't be able to find them.
Yeah.
In some cases, they'll never be found. But
Mm,
what a horrible
mm,
thing
mm.
to not know.
Yeah.
So I got an update on the happy birthday stuff.
Okay.
So back in 2013, there was a documentary about the song, and they paid Time Warner, not Time Warner, Warner Brothers, Warner Chappell something. They paid for the rights, but part of the idea of the documentary was to track its origins and its copyright claims and all that. And in their research, they figured out that nobody owns the music and the lyrics
Really?
since for ages. There's no evidence for it, and this was a $2 million a year income flow for Warner back in the day, and that lawsuit claimed that since early 2000s should not be any claim at all on it. Werner owned a specific piano arrangement recording, and not the music and not the lyrics.
So did they
And
make him pay it back?
yep.
Wow.
The lawsuit, the judge determined that basically there is no evidence of Werner owning any of that. And not only that, there were other references to possible ownership. All of those there was lack of evidence, basically. So the song from 2022, 2027, those that were registered were never renewed. And so effectively, when 70 years have passed, they're in the public domain. The court did not say the word, they're in the public domain, but the effectiveness of it is there is no active claim, basically. All of the active claims are irrelevant, and those were dismissed. And yeah, so I wonder how much more, because the same lawyer in the summary there, the same lawyer has filed for "We shall overcome" and "This land is your land." So I don't know where that ended, but yeah.
That's
Mm.
what's the guy? Woody Guthrie is, I think, is "This Land Is Your Land," or it's Pete Seeger. I can't remember.
Seeger, I think.
Yeah. This sounds like this. Do you remember the story about the paid parking lot? I don't remember what city it was in, but there was a paid parking lot where the same attendant was there for like 30 years collecting the tolls. And everybody loved the guy. He was a really nice guy, and everybody knew him. And then he says, "I'm retiring," and to come back that Monday, and there's nobody in the booth. And they find out that all those years he didn't own the property; he was just collecting the tolls.
Resourceful.
Yeah, I don't know that he disappeared or what happened after, whether they prosecute.
But you see, look at the difference of the story. This is a single person, right? We hear about it, and we're basically rooting for him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And when
that's right.
when we hear this about Warner Brothers, right? We say, screw them.
Yeah, it's stick it to the man. Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
Interesting. All right. While you're looking it up, who has a stand-up disc?
I don't, but I've used one at work.
Yeah, I used it at work. I didn't do one at home yet.
A new study counters the widely held belief that standing discs are good for your health, discovering that it does not reduce the risk of diseases such as stroke and heart failure. In fact, it found that being on your feet for more than 2 hours a day may increase the risk of developing problems such as deep vein thrombosis and varicose veins.
Yeah, that
Huh?
has nothing to do with standing desks.
Well,
Nobody uses standing desk for an entire day, right? A standing desk is usually a desk that can change its positions from standing to sitting. You're still sitting most of the day, but you can do some of the work while standing.
I guess.
And by the way, especially in personal offices, standing desk has been combined with a walker. So you actually walk while working, which is not standing.
All right. So you mean you're moving around?
Well, your feet are moving, right? But yeah.
Okay, interesting.
That actually exists.
All right.
And I agree. There's probably not enough research on it, but I'm like finding that it's a facetious study, right? Unless the study had nothing to do with standing desk and it's just the journalist trying to create a sensational headline.
Maybe.
It's just about hours of standing a day, and that can be a problem, right?
So you mean they did the study? They're journalists.
It's like they took some of the summaries of the study, but used it for their own scare tactics.
AI. I saw this something about it on
You
TV
mean
in one
bullshit
of the shows.
generators?
A what?
You mean bullshit generators?
Bullshit generators.
Yeah.
The parents of a Massachusetts students are suing his school after he was penalized for using AI in a social studies project, claiming it was for research purposes only. The student received a detention and a lower grade, which his parents argue could harm his college prospects. The school is defending its AI policy and fighting to dismiss the case. The article, the thing on TV went farther in when they were saying that there are schools that are doing it that they don't understand what it does, and they just don't want people to use it. Period. I mean, and his mother and his lawyer were talking there, and they were saying he was using it for research. It's not like he was letting the AI write the paper.
Well, how do they know?
I don't know.
He probably disclosed it. Like he
Yeah.
did the right thing, probably saying, "I use these tools," right?
You like
Yeah, he
citing?
did. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he did, and they
Yeah.
said that he was he's a very bright student who is very much into all the latest things, and he
Mm.
and they were. I mean, I didn't realize. Yeah, it can change your life. Something like a teacher at school doesn't like you doing it, and they can ruin your life by giving you lower grade. And it's unfortunately, I think we're going to go through a lot of these as for the next few years, until the administration of the schools understand. Oh yeah, you can use it. I mean, who knows? Maybe back when it was, oh, you use the school, I mean, a book to research. No, you can't do that. You have to just listen to your teacher.
Yeah.
You can't use a book at home to get information out of. I mean, I don't know that who knows? It could have happened back then, years and years and years ago.
You
But
can't cut and paste out of a book.
that's right. Yeah.
Did you see the story about 23andMe?
I
All the board members left.
Oh, yeah, what a mess.
Well,
It's falling apart. I mean, each of my kids, well, I know my two daughters got joined, and they keep getting updated information, which is very interesting because supposedly as their database improves, they start to show more results. So one daughter just got a new report showing more Scottish heritage and some other things that we didn't know were there. But it's interesting. But yeah, they're in trouble. There was a huge data breach that went on for years,
yeah.
and they were sued and had to pay a settlement. But now it says the value of the company it says plummeted more than 99% since its $6 billion peak
Yeah.
back in 2021. Wow. And they said the problem is they don't know what's going to happen to the data.
Yeah, I read something that they were saying that people should delete their data from there.
Well,
Yeah.
it was always the one reason I remember for not wanting to do this was that if that data was ever made available to an insurance company, for example, so if you applied for life insurance and they have your genetic data to say, oh, we can't give you a policy, or it's going to cost you 10 times more because your family has this particular health feature.
Mm-hmm.
And
Health
how
feature.
that was part of the problem. Oh, no, your data will always be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see.
Who knows if we may have had it collected clandestinely somewhere along the line.
All right. So Eleanor. Oh, go ahead. Finish.
Go ahead. No, I'm done.
Eleanor is in the chat is talking about the stand-up desk. She said, "I have a standing desk, and it is the best." And she said, "My standing desk is all standing. It doesn't mean I don't move around and avoid thrombosis. Standing desks are way better than sitting all day." That's true too.
Plus,
And
if you
she
have
said,
arthritic hips and you have to get up and down all the time, it's much better.
"Yeah, no, I mean, you should get up." Said maybe part of the assignment was not to use AI. Oh, for the school, that student. I don't know. That did not come up. Yeah, I guess a teacher can say, but you have to do that. But for this part, don't you can't use AI. Yeah.
Well, maybe what they
Anyway,
should do is if he really didn't understand that instruction and told them I used AI, knowing they would know, maybe he can go back and do the assignment over without it. That would be fair.
I
Were
remember.
there were there back in the 90s, were there any cases of um, schools banning work because a student used the internet?
Yes.
Pla-
This
Wikipedia.
is the same
plagiarizing, yeah.
thing.
Plagiarizing.
Wikipedia, when I was in school, we couldn't use it at all. And
Well, Wikipedia, yeah, I
no, I
know.
know, but that's an example of if you used it, then you got a 0 on the paper.
Well, if you quoted from Wikipedia, I understand the practice of nullifying, um, but yeah, but you would still use Wikipedia, right, to get to the resources, the
When
actual
I
sources.
when I
That's
was in
today.
school, we couldn't even like mention about Wikipedia. Like
Yeah,
not we
I
couldn't
know. I
use it
think
at
that's still
all
okay.
and all that stuff. It made it sound like
Hmm.
it was the devil.
Yeah, they still do that. I think in different parts. Because there's a right way of using Wikipedia and there's a wrong way. I would agree. I wonder if we're seeing the same here with the AI tools.
That's why it'll take
Feels the
time.
same.
Yeah.
Feels very deja vu.
But the other thing that always amazed me when I came here is people are studying from home and taking tests from home on
Yeah.
the internet online. And I said, well, shoot, I mean, I can open a book and get all the answers from there when I do this. And I can't remember who it was that told me, said, as long as you are opening the book and reading it and writing the answer, you just learned. And that's good enough.
Well, if you look at reality, right, like outside of school, I
Yeah.
mean, and outside of the academic settings, um, first of all, working in cooperation is key, right? You're always relying on somebody else to produce the end result. Uh, you're never completely alone. So you're either relying on knowledge that somebody else has provided, right, and vetted, and then you present it,
Hmm.
or you're collecting it with other people, right, or based on other people's work. So cooperation is not cheating, and uh, most, especially when you go out of middle school, I think, maybe even definitely after high school, most of the knowledge is not just regurgitating facts, just remembering numbers
Right.
and spewing them out on key. It is about analyzing a set of uh, a situation or a set of instructions or and coming out with a result. So yes, if we call it we called it open materials, right?
Open book.
When you have access to materials during
Yeah.
the test itself, even if you're being tested, as long as you're not looking at the other's person test next to you, you're okay. So yeah, but I don't see the problem with collaboration or with data sourcing at the source, right? Um,
But there are
if you are
probably
using a bullshit generator as output, then yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
but there are probably some circumstances where, a proctored test is necessary for certain certifications and things like that. So
yeah, but those
there are things that you need to have to know without having a source around you.
right, and I
So,
think
like a pilot,
real estate
you
agents, right?
can't.
They have
Yeah.
like these
Yeah.
math equations that they need to remember because they need to remember they need to really understand the relativity of what the values mean
Yeah.
and all that. But then those are being tested at certified locations, right?
Yeah.
Under supervision.
Like the ham radio license, you have to go find a proctor to take the test. Yeah. Imagine eliminating the testing, in-person testing for a pilot's license.
Forget it.
Oh, I studied all the books. I played Flight Simulator. I should be good.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what the guys that attacked the towers in New York.
Yeah, they just wanted to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
Didn't want to learn how to land.
Right. They didn't care about landing.
Well, yeah, I got to run. I got an event I have to get to. So,
Okay.
Bye.
all right, guys,
Same
have a
here.
good
All right,
rest of your
Spence.
week. All right,
See ya. Cisco has confirmed to Bleeping Computers that it is investigating recent claims that it suffered a breach after a threat actor began selling allegedly stolen data on a hacking forum. This statement comes after a well-known threat actor named Intel Broker said that he and two others breached Cisco on October 6 and stole a large amount of developer data from the company. So,
Read the first sentence again.
Cisco has confirmed to Bleeping Computer that it is investigating recent claims that it suffered a breach after a threat. Yeah.
So they're investigating
Yeah.
after the data has been sold already.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have no clue.
Well, I guess
they have zero idea when the breach. This is bad on so many levels.
Oh yeah, I mean the threat that the hackers were saying that they broke in on October 6th, not Cisco.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
that's bad.
And again, I don't think they said they broke in on October 6th. They started selling on October 6th. So you don't know when the breach.
Well, no, they said that he and two others breached Cisco on October 6th and stole a large amount. And I don't know when they started selling it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This is such a shit show. But look here. So the hacker is claiming October 6th, right? We're now at October 20.
Yeah.
That is exactly the 14 days that they have, to notify.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Jeez.
Oh. It's bad.
It's very bad.
Um,
It's bad that they cannot say for sure, yes, no. It's like, that's... that is what I fear the most, right? Especially... I mean, I work for a company dealing in security, and like my biggest concern, I know we're diligent, and I know that our CISO is doing a hell of a job, and they have all of this data, and we use our software as well. It's my main concern is to learn one day, that somebody breached something that has to do with my company, like. That is going to be such a blow if that ever happens. but I never say never. I mean
Yeah,
that there's always a
a
possibility that it'll
possibility.
happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
and
I got to drop as well.
huh? You
I got to go as well.
okay? Say hi.
I will.
Take care.
Bye bye,
Bye.
Katie.
Bye.
Adios.
Um, Katie, I think we can end it, but we're talking about AI again.
Hmm.
Salesforce founder and chief executive Mark Benioff has doubled down on his criticism of Microsoft's Copilot, the AI powered tool that can write Word documents, create PowerPoint presentations, analyze Excel spreadsheets, and even reply to emails through Outlook. He said in on X, he writes, when you look at how Copilot has been delivered to customers, it's disappointing. It just doesn't work, and it doesn't deliver any level of accuracy.
Mm.
Gartner says it's spilling data everywhere, and customers are left cleaning up the mess.
So it's more trouble than it's worth.
So it's a lot more trouble than it's worth. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They gave it to
Yeah.
you, but
Well, that's another thing, and this is really prevalent in the technology world where they overpromise and underdeliver. So they marketed this thing as a be all, save all kind of thing, and then when they actually get into the nitty gritty of it, there's a lot of issues.
no,
Now that doesn't mean that they won't get fixed because I'm sure like in a
oh,
year from now everything will be a lot better.
agreed.
But this is why me as a person, like when something brand new comes out, I do not jump on it right away because you know there's going to be bugs and issues,
Yep.
and I let other people get frustrated for me, and then I'll come in like maybe 6 months to a year later when they work out all the issues.
All the bugs, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the growing pains of innovation.
Yep. Another thing, you read a lot online
Uh,
on
I
your
I read a lot of books. Yeah.
yeah. Do you have a Kindle?
No, but are you talking about the Kindle Color?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's interesting. I don't. To me, it's not worth it because one, I don't have a Kindle. Two, I read in the Kindle app, but I read it on my phone, and my phone, like everybody else's phone, is has very clear picture and it can show colors beautifully. The Kindle device does not have a glass screen like an iPad. It replicates more like a dull book,
Mhm.
where it's supposed to replicate paper.
Right.
And so this color Kindle they came out with, it again is not like an iPad, not with a crystal clear screen. It's like colored paper. But because they're sticking with that technology, it just looks awful
Yeah, I
and
thought
not
the
worth the price.
biggest thing about the Kindle was that it makes you feel like you're holding a book.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be
And
easier on your eyes, and it's but the biggest downfall on using your because then the argument's like, well, why don't you just read from your iPad? Well, the biggest issue with an iPad is that you can't read with it outside. Because the sun
yeah.
hits the screen and it makes it very difficult to read, and then people will be like, oh well, just jack up your brightness on your screen. Well,
Mm,
that drains the battery drastically, and it's just a pain in the butt. So that's why people prefer Kindle, the physical Kindle,
right.
um, but because it just makes it easier to read. But the downfall of that is that the screen is not optimized for RBG values.
Well, when I'm thinking Kindle, you think about the black and white because that's what a book looks like when you
Yep.
read. I mean, I don't read books, and I don't know that there are any books that are in color. There may be some pictures,
Well,
illustrations
I
in
mean,
there,
a
but
lot of it is comic books. So like,
okay, yeah,
yeah, if you're a big graphic novel person,
okay, yeah,
then you can only read them in black and white. And the only reason I bring that up is that there is a huge industry, not just on graphic novels, like the typical Marvel and DC stuff that everybody's familiar with. There's a multi-billion-dollar industry in web comics. These are self-published. Well, they start out as self-published. People that uh more geared towards the Asian like anime and manga kind of stuff that people publish online. And I mean, it's like I said, a multi-million dollar industry, and those are all in color. Those aren't in black and white. And
Okay.
so I don't know if they can access stuff like that, but there is a market for colored reading material.
Okay.
I
That
just don't think that the Kindle is
is
optimized
it.
for that. And not only that, but I also saw a video where somebody was reviewing it, and it takes like 5 seconds for it to convert the image from black and white to color. Like, it's not instant. So at that point, I'm like, if you want to read something with color, you need to just read it on your iPad.
Yeah, and go inside and read it.
Yeah, go inside and read it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're good. It's
Yep.
time for us to go.
Everybody's abandoned us.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. I need to stand so I don't get varicose veins.
No, if you stand too much, that's when you get
Oh.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was fun.
Yes.
It's still cold outside, which is nice.
I know. I'm wearing my hoodie
Yeah.
and my robe.
And you're going to go outside, right?
Yeah.
You
Well,
should.
it's warmer. It's warmer outside than it is in my house.
Oh. All right. Well, have fun.
Thanks.
Thanks again for being here this morning. And thanks, Gal and Spence, for being here. And I hope that Nick is having fun somewhere. Hopefully. All right. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, Dana, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thank you, everybody, for turning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive, update your virus scanner, and change same passwords where you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT. That's 11:10 a.m. and 99.3 FM in Charlotte, North Carolina, surrounding area, and online. And he's also on YouTube. Just search for the Carolina News Hour, Carolina Journal News Hour. And Nick and Brian also host the Infection Podcast on Twitch. That's for gaming news, and some political points. Go to infectionpodcast.com and find out when the live show is going to be that week, or just download the podcasts and listen to them at your leisure. Have a great week, and we'll be back together next week. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.